What do you think? Should we have an easy day with a little stretch? Hey everyone, Cristin Sam here, and we are continuing with our Enchanted Winter quilt with our sponsor, Daylily Fabric Shop. So I'm going to try and talk a little quickly. We're on our way out tonight, so I'm going to a concert. I'm super excited. So I'm going to quickly tell you what we've done. We did all of section 1, just beautiful, and I'm seeing everybody posting their blocks, and everybody's doing so great. And then we did the Welcome Winter block with our Tundra Florals block, and then we did our snowflake. It's really the filler block that many of us put snowflakes or something fun on it to be able to learn a little bit extra with Embellishment Essentials, and that beautiful soft tree. I love this one. It's still my favorite so far. All right, and then we did the dear friend, super pretty. Isn't that so cute? And then we did just a very simple 2x4 filler block. And then we did the penguin. This was so cute. He took quite a bit of time, but oh my gosh, he's worth it. Look at how cute he is. And there will be an ice cream cone button right there. Super, super, super cute. I love him. And then we have our extra snowflake block. This will be for section 2. And we have our corner piece block for section 3. So, oh my gosh, we have just a ton done. You guys are doing great. Today is going to be, I think, a very simple day. I haven't got it completely figured out yet, but I will before it gets posted, obviously. So we're going to just do the last 2 section 2 filler blocks. There's 2 left. We've done a couple of them to fit in our hoop to be able to narrow it down and make it a little bit easier of a last day of our filler blocks. So I'm going to go over those. I am going to embellish both of them. One of them I'm going to show you and let you figure out what you want to do on yours. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on mine. And the other one, I am going to adjust it and do the things for it. And for everyone that has made a donation during the time of this project, I'm going to go ahead and send it to you. So as you know, I always say, when you make a donation to the channel, include your email address so that I can send you the freebie, and also the format that your machine uses. I need that to be able to send you the right format, and then also what project you're working on. I'm assuming that you're working on Enchanted with us, but some people are working on something else. So I will send you this automatically. You'll automatically receive it when you have made a donation to the channel. So if you haven't done that yet, here's a link to PayPal. It's super easy, and it's really helpful to help with all of the supplies needed for doing these tutorials. So that's my little thank you to those that have done that, is I'm going to send you the little freebie, and it's just my small little way of saying thank you for your support of our channel. All right, so the 2 blocks. So let's go ahead and go over those. The first one is block number 3. And it is the purple. It's a lavender with little flowers on it fabric. And we're going to start with this. Let's see, block 3. It's got a 4x8 quilting design, so that means that we want it to be 5x9. So in the book, it'll say 4.5 by 8.5 or 5x9. So I recommend cutting it 5x9. That makes it so that the stitching, if it pulls in at all, will be okay. We'll cut it afterwards. I'll show you that at the end. All right, so this is one that I am going to embellish on it. And like I said, I haven't completely figured out what I want to do on it yet. I have some ideas and have played around with it a little bit. And so far, I haven't gotten exactly what I want. So I'm going to keep on working on that in the meantime. So this one, like I said, 5x9 for your fabric and also for your batting. All right, 5x9 for your fabric and your batting. Make sure to stabilize your fabric. We are going to quilt it and we're going to add to it. So you want to make sure that it is stabilized. All right, so your batting also 5x9, same thing. All right, 5x9. And we're going to quilt this with, let's see, tree 4 in a 4x8 design in horizontal. All right, tree 4 horizontal design in 4x8. That's the quilting design for this one. This is for block 3, filler block 3. All right, and then one other simple block, super easy, and this is the one that I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on mine, and you can do that or you can do something else, totally up to you, or leave it as is. You can absolutely just quilt it and be done with it, totally up to you. So this is filler block number 5, right? filler block 5. All right, and we're going to start with this one. It's a 4x4 quilting design, so that means that we want to start with our fabric at 5x5. All right, it'll say in the book 4.5 by 4.5 or 5x5. We will cut it down to 4.5 by 4.5, but I like to have it a little bit bigger, just like I said, in case the stitching pulls it in at all, because boy, is it a bummer if you get all your pieces together and it doesn't fit right. All right, so be careful with that. Make sure and stabilize your fabrics and cut them a little bit bigger if needed, and then we'll cut it down at the end. So 5x5, you can see it's the white fabric with the blue dots. Make sure to stabilize your fabric. All right, 5x5 for your fabric, and then also 5x5 for your batting. This is for filler block number 5. All right, filler block number 5, 5x5 fabric and 5x5 batting. All right, and then we're gonna quilt this one. I am right, number 5. Yep, good. Phew. So we're gonna quilt this one with Winter 8. Winter 8 is our quilting design, and we're gonna use a 4x4 quilting design. And that's it. So super easy fabrics, 2 blocks. Should be able to fit that in one hooping. That's my plan. That's my hope. My fingers are crossed that that will work out. I'm going to bring you over the computer after evening out. I'm going to bring you over the computer, and I'm going to show you what I have in mind and what will fit in one hooping and all of those fun things. Hey everyone, I'm at my computer and we only have 2 filler blocks left for section 2, and I'm going to add to both of them. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up Embellishment Essentials. That is the embroidery software that I recommend and that I teach you how to use. All right, so it says I'm on my 9x9 hoop, and actually that probably will work. We have a 4x8 quilting design and a 4x4 quilting design. So actually, I think a 9x9 is probably perfect. If you're not on the hoop size that you want, come up here to this preferences folder, click on that, choose the hoop that you want and say okay. And then come up to this compass button and click on H for hoop. Now I've tested this a few times and hopefully I'll remember how I did it. I actually did it a day or two ago, and so I'll be doing it over again on camera, and hopefully I'll remember, so we'll see. But anyway, so I'm going to start just by bringing in the 2 quilting designs and then going from there with the changes. So the first one is filler block number 3, and for that one we want a let's see, tree 4 quilting design in a 4x8 horizontal design. So I'm going to open up a folder excuse me, and find my files here. Quilting bundle, tree 4, embroidery files, block by block. Pez is what I use for my machine, and we want a 4x8 in horizontal. 4x8, tree 4 horizontal right there. Click on that, drag it over. You can do it that way, or you can come up to this merge stitch file button and click on that and navigate to where you have your folder. All right, so there's the first one. Let me think here. Maybe we should just go ahead and make all the changes to the first one. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and focus on this one. So this is the one that I am going to show you what I'm going to do, but for those that made a donation to the channel, I'm going to automatically send you what I've created here. All right, and just the add-on file, not the quilting design, of course. All right, so at first we've got the quilting, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I'm going to change these colors right now since we'll have 2 blocks. Now keep in mind you can do the 2 blocks separately by all means. If you don't have a 9x9 hoop, you can do them separately, or a larger hoop, whatever, either way. So I'm going to click on 1-1 right here. I clicked on this plus sign to open it up so I can see all the different parts of it. And I'm going to click on 1-1, and you can see down in the properties window, it opened up to the stitches file. So I'm going to click on the color tab, and I'm going to click on the color, and I'm just going to change it to the first color that comes up for me. I'm on Filtech Glide, and it shows Oriental Blue. So I'm going to click on that, say okay. All right, and then 1-2, click on the color. I'm going to use the first color. That's pumpkin for me. Color does not matter, as I always say. It's just to be able to join the parts that you want to join. All right, and then 1-3, click on the color. I already used Oriental Blue, and I don't want these to join, so I want to use the next color down. For me, that's Bluebird, and say okay. And then 1-4, click on the color. I'm going to choose Jubilee. And then 1-5, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the first color, that's Sprout for me. All right, so that one is done. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and just make these changes now so that we can group them and so forth. So what I'm thinking is a simple word, but done very differently. And I have actually tried it lots of different options to be able to get the look that I wanted. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually extremely simple, but it took me forever to figure it out. So hopefully this helps you in the future as well. All right, so we've got the quilting design. Now I'm going to bring in a word. So I'm going to come up here to this create letters button, click on that, and it puts an ABC in the middle. All right, I'm going to change the wording. Now notice that we're on this one line here, so you get one single line of text. I want multiple, so I'm going to click on this one, this multi-line text. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to highlight that ABC, and I'm going to start typing C. Actually, I just remembered I tried a lot of ways of making this work, and this did not make it work. So actually, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to add just a C, and I am going to do the single line text because I'm going to do multiples of them. So like I said, I tried it this way, and I couldn't get it to align in the way and distribute in the way that I wanted it to. So I'm going to do a single line text, and I'm just doing a C, and I'm going to hit return, and it'll change that C. Now, the other thing is that I went through a ton of different fonts. I wanted a thick one because we've got a pretty big block here. And so I wanted a thick one. And this is total personal preference, whatever you want. I actually don't use a lot of thick fonts because when I'm doing like quilt labels and stuff, you don't want it too thick, but this one I did want it thick. And so I went to Stitchtopia and did some shopping. I will add a link here. When you click on Stitchtopia from my link, it will do a little kickback to Cristin Creates because I'm an affiliate with Stitchtopia, and I love their fonts. I also love Designs by Juju fonts. Planet Applique has some good ones. Applique Corner has some good fonts. There's a lot of places that have good fonts, but I would say Stitchtopia and Designs by Juju are my personal favorite. So go to Stitchtopia. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so here's my order on Stitchtopia, and this you can see the ones that I purchased. So I purchased these fonts because they were thicker and I liked them, and then I went and tested them all with what I was doing. So you have to figure out what you want to do. So I'm going to show you a couple ones. I'll just tell you others, but I'm going to show you the one I did. So I decided on apple cider, and it's a new one from Stitchtopia. I think it just came out this week, and it was just perfect for the look that I wanted. So I already downloaded it, and I've shown you on other videos when you download your file from Stitchtopia, you have to extract the file, and then you grab the BX fonts and just drag them over to your workspace. I already did mine, so I can't show you again, but I've shown you on lots of videos. But you literally just grab the BX format and bring it over to your workspace, and then it loads them for you. Super easy. All right, so in fact, you can see it on the sweater video that when we made that Enchanted Winter sweater, I've got it on there, and lots of other videos, but super easy to do. All right, so I'm going to go here on this ABC. I'm on the block font right now that comes when you purchase Embellishment Essentials. You get several fonts, and I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to drag down here because Stitchtopia fonts always say Stitchtopia and then the font, which is super helpful because then you can find them easily when they're all organized that way. So I'm going to find that Stitchtopia apple cider right there, and I'm gonna do, I think I did a 1 point, I don't remember if I did 1 1/4 or 1.5. I'm gonna do 1 1/4. All right, so see how nice and thick that font is. I really like that. All right, so then I am going to just move it up here. So I want to be somewhat accurate on this first one that I'm placing, the first letter and the last letter. The other ones it's not going to matter, but the first and the last one. So just note how much space you have between the left-hand side here and from the top here. All right, so that it's somewhat accurate. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the C and I'm going to say Control C on my keyboard to copy, and then Control V like victory to paste. All right, and that's not going to be my letters, but it just makes it a quick, easy way to do it. So I'm going to do a few of those. Let's see, 6 of them. All right. So I'm just hitting Control V now. I've already had it copied, so I'm hitting Control V as in victory to paste a bunch of them. So I have 6 letters here. They all go on the top. So I'm going to take this top one. This is going to be my last letter because it's on the top. And again, I want to get this one pretty accurate. So from the bottom and the right-hand side, just take note, just a mental picture of where you want it to be, basically. All right, and then I'm just going to grab the rest and I'm going to move these ones don't matter at all, so just bring them off of that first one. All right, I think there's one more. Yep. Okay, this here. Okay, so now I want to change that letters, okay, so to the word that I'm looking, and you can use whatever word you want. Now that I'm showing you how to do this, you can get creative and try something different. I am going to use the word chili. All right, that's the word that I'm thinking of. So I am just changing the letters to spell out the word chili, and see that heart on the eye? Isn't that so cute? That's one of the reasons why I love this. It was mainly because it's so thick. I really like that. But the letters, you have to look at your fonts and see how it looks with the letters that you're going to use, because some of them you have like this perfect font and then you're like, oh, that doesn't really work with the letters that I chose. I don't like that on the letter. So I'm just going through and I'm clicking on each letter and clicking on the text and changing the font and hitting return. All right, I'm choosing not the font, the letter. All right. So there's chili. All right. You can have it be all straight. That's what I started with. I had it all straight and I just thought, oh, it's such a big block. I wanted it kind of different. So I'm going to show you what I decided on. And like I said, get that C and the Y placed pretty well. And then the rest isn't going to matter. So I'm going to click on these letters. I'm going to drag. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking from the right and dragging over. And that just makes it a quick, easy way to be able to grab all of those letters. And then here's the part. I tried a bunch of different ways to make it work the way that I was thinking. And oh, it was not easy at all. So I think I've got it down now, hopefully, so I can show you. So if we go up to utility, utility, align and distribute. All right. And then click on the distribute tab. Since we've already got the C and the Y placed, we can just bypass align and go to distribute. And then I'm going to click on spacing, and cross your fingers. Hopefully I'm remembering how I did it right, and click apply. Look at that. Yay. All right. So that is really, really fun. I love that. It's a little hard to see with the background quilting right there, but I'm not going to have the background quilting stand out too much in the actual block because it's a word. Whenever I have a word, I want to be able to see that word. So I think that is just really fun. So like I said, I'm using font Apple Cider and I used 1.25 size. It's by Stitchtopia. It's on sale right now. And there's a coupon code when you go to their website. I think it was, here's up at the top. It's got the coupon codes that you're going to use to be able to get whatever that you want. I ended up buying, I think, like 6 different fonts this time. And I also put a bunch in my wish list for later so that when I'm ready for more, I know I have an idea of what I've already looked through. So I think that looks really great. I love it, love it, love it. I'm very happy with this. So I'm going to close up this plus sign here and I'm going to click all of them. So I'm going to click from the bottom and drag up and I'm going to click group, edit group, so that I can move this around without having to worry about how it's done. So when you group it like that, you can move it all around however you want, but then you can still click on an individual item if you want to make changes to it. So, but like I said, once it's grouped, you can move it all around and it just makes it pretty easy to use it or to move it to where you need it without having the letters get out of place and all that. So that was super simple because I already did all the pre-work of trying every different way of making that work, and it sure didn't work. I tried with all the letters as one word and distributing them, and obviously that's not going to work. It's so funny. It was not obvious at the time. I was like, why isn't this doing what I wanted it to do? I was so frustrated. I also tried aligning it within the quilting design, and that didn't work. You can align, but you can't distribute. Once you do it, then the box goes a whole different place, and I literally worked on this for a very long time to get this little word just right. So I think it's great. So let me tell you some other ones that I tried. So cruise ship is super cute. That's also from Stitchtopia. I tried it with that. That was really cute too. I ended up deciding on this apple cider, and I really like how that came out, but there were several others that were cute. I did rainbow kale. That's a really cute one. I also tried caramel candy and sugar cookie. I wasn't super pleased with those. I bought lemon ricotta. That's a really pretty one. And then cruise ship, like I said, that was my second favorite. So try that out. You might like that one better. I like this one. So there's lots of different options. And this one is a good one because it is a cute, like scripty font, but also works as individual, like not script font. So I thought this one was really cute. It's the look I was looking for. So go try yours out and see what looks best to you. And like I said, everyone that made a donation during the time of this project, I'm going to send you the word, just the word, and I will put a box around it so you can place it easily. But just the word, I will send it to you. So check your email, and before you message me and say you don't have it, check your spam folder, because I had a lot of people that went into their spam folder and they were looking for it. And on a note, when I send you a file, you can't open it in your email program. I had somebody have that happen too, and that was a really frustrating situation to try and figure out what was going on. And it turned out she was trying to open an embroidery file in her email program, and you can't do that. You can download it by all means, and then you transfer it to a USB stick and open it on your embroidery machine, or open it in embroidery software, but you can't open email or a embroidery file in email. So it took a while to figure out what was going on with that. So in case anyone else is having trouble, make sure to download it and save it to a USB, bring it to your machine, or open it in Embellishment Essentials or whatever software you're using. All right, so that one is done. Great, great, great. Happy with it. Now I am going to bring in the second one, and this one I'm not sending to you. I am going to let you do whatever you want with this block, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do so that you can have some ideas. All right, so this one is block number 5, filler block number 5, and we want winter 8 quilting design. So I'm going to go back to my quilting designs here and find winter 8 right there, winter 8 embroidery files, Pez, and 4x4. 4x4 winter 8. Grab it, drag it over. That's how you would do once. So same thing when you purchase a font from Stitchtopia or Designs by Juju or wherever, you would unzip it and then just drag it over to your workspace, just like I just did for this file, and that would load them to your workspace so that you always have them there. All right, so I'm going to grab this. You know what? I think I'm just going to leave this in the middle. It makes it a little confusing with the overage, but I'm going to leave it in the center so that I don't have to worry about that later. And then the thing that I decided on is I wanted a monogram for this one. I generally try to add a monogram to most of my quilts. I'm sure you've seen that in the past. There are 3-letter monograms, 2-letter monograms, and 1-letter monogram, and all of them are great and really cute, and this 4x4 block would be perfect for that. So whatever you want, and you can go to Stitchtopia and check out their fonts. If you go to, actually you can just go to Shop, Alphabets, and then you can do it by type. So there's that apple cider, by the way. So cute, huh? So Shop, and then go to Alphabets, and then you can do by type, and there's monograms right there. And I think they have like 4 pages of monogram options that you can choose from. So, and I have several of these. They're really cute. So I have this one stitched on a hat, on the cuff of a hat, and it's pretty darn cute. There's 10 pages of monogram fonts, so there's lots of options. I don't see how this is a monogram. I think that there's a few that are in the wrong place. But anyway, you can look through these. Yeah, these aren't all monograms. That's funny. Let's do this monogram. See if that makes it. You're still. That's interesting. Anyway, look through here and choose a monogram that you want. I ended up, so see these, I've done these before, and I've got these on several things, and that's a really cute option. I've got a pretty one that has like a scallop edge, and you could do an applique on it, or you can do stitching. This is the one I was talking about, the scallop edge, super cute. So there's lots of different ideas for a monogram if you choose to do that. If you've never done a monogram before, the middle letter is your last name, and then left first name and right middle name. So that's how it works to do a monogram. And you just bring them in and manipulate it around to the look that you want. And it's a really good idea. So one other thing I want to point out, when I buy fonts from Stitchtopia or wherever, I usually buy the smaller set. I did hear somebody say that they bought the bigger set. And when I say bigger, it's like a 4-inch font or a 8-inch font. And then you're shrinking it down. You don't have it quite as much things that you can put it on, unless you do a lot of like shirts where you've got one big letter or a monogram. I have a few that are big, but I generally buy the smaller size on everything and have it be something I'm adding into a design. So personal preference, whatever works for you. So the one that I'm going to use, I didn't write it down. I think it's called Nottingham or something with nodding. Let's see. Let's try just nodding and see if, yep, Notting Hill. So this is the one that I bought. I bought it last year, and I think I already have it on one of my quilts. I think it's just really pretty with the little hearts. It's very cute and very elegant looking with all the swirlies. So this is the one I'm going to use, and it's very simple. It's one simple letter. There's several of them that are really cute. There's one that's an S with a big heart on it. It's really pretty. So lots of different ideas, whatever works for you. Think of how the look that you're looking for. So I'm going to do that Notting Hill. So I'm going to go ahead. So I've got my quilting design, and while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and change those colors so that they'll join the way that I want them to. So I'm going to click on 8-1. I opened it up by hitting that plus sign. 8-1 color right there. I'm going to change it to Oriental Blue. If you don't remember the colors you used before, just scroll up. There's the colors. You want to make sure that the ones that you want to join are the same colors as above. All right, so there's 8-1. Then 8-2, click on the color. I want Pumpkin. 8-3, click on the color and I want Bluebird. 8-4, click on the color and I want Jubilee. And then I don't want the quilting colors to join the final quilting part of the design because I want to make that decision when I get there. So I'm going to go ahead and change it. So instead from Sprout, like I used on the first one, I'm going to choose Sea Mist. All right, and like I said, I've got this in the middle so that I can join my letter and move it around after that. So there's that one. So I'm going to do this, create letters, click on that. And then I'm going to change the letter to S. It's doing that apple cider, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to click an S, so capital S, hit return. Oh, that's very small. Oh, because we're on Stitchtopia apple cider. All right, so I'm going to click on this arrow here that will show all the different fonts that I have, and I'm just going to look through and find one that I like. So you could do it this way as well. So like if I go up here, you can see here's one of this applique market. I've got this natural circle beaded and then the scallop circle chevron. I've got several monograms that are already loaded in here, and you can absolutely do that. I know that I want to do that single letter one this time. So I'm going to look for Notting. It was Notting down. Let's see right there, Notting Hill. So I think I might do the 3.5. Let's just see. If that's too big, it might be the 3-inch I need. Let's just see. That looks pretty good, actually. So I have a little, you just want to make sure that it fits within the placement stitch of the batting, which is that first square. The outer square is the placement and tack down for the main fabric. So you don't want it that far out, otherwise part of your letter would be in your seam allowance. So whatever fits within that first square, which that first square should be 4 by 4. So the 3.5 looks really good. I'm going to check on the 3 and just decide between those two. So Notting Hill 3-inch. It's quite a bit smaller. I think I might do the bigger. Go big or go home, right? 3.5. I think that looks really good. I like it. All right, so that was super simple. One simple letter. That's so easy. So I am going to join these. So I'm going to click outside and drag over so that I get both of those. And I'm going to click edit group so that those I can move those around without having to worry about it. And then you just want to make sure that you're not going over your hoop at all. Now it looks like this is super close to have these 2 blocks in a 9x9 hoop. But keep in mind that on our filler blocks, we only have a 1/2 inch extra fabric, which means a 1/4 inch on each side. So there may be a tiny bit of overlay, but not enough for me to worry about. So this is great. All right, now the thing that I want to do is I want to reorder the steps so that I'm doing all of the quilting first and then doing the letters. All right, so just personal preference. I want those to join together. So I'm going to close these up so I can see everything. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to drag it. So if I click on the picture of number 8, I found that if I click on the wording, it thinks you want to change the wording. So I'm just going to click on the picture of it and I'm going to bring it up. Did I bring it too far? Let's see. There's the first quilting design. There's the second quilting design. Great. All right. So that's perfect. That's what I wanted. And then I think I might do the S first. So I'm going to click on that S and drag that up to just after that winter 8. It went into there. We don't want that. We want it. So I'm right clicking on it and clicking move earlier. We don't want it to go, I'll do the C and then jump over to the S and then come back to the rest of the word. So just get it situated how you want it. I have it where I have both of my quilting designs are going to stitch first and then the S and then that chilly word. I'm so excited to see the chilly word come out. So that is perfect, really, right? We need to do a color sort. Right now, I think it says 11 steps. I feel like there should be more. That doesn't seem right. Let's see. So one other thing is that we've got both the S and the chili are all the same color. And so the color doesn't matter except that it won't stop. So actually, I'm going to change the S on here. To a different color. So I'm just clicking on that S. It's design 3 for me now, and I'm going to click on the color tab and just change that color so that it has something different than the others so that it doesn't join. All right, so you can see it'll do the S separately. I did it on dark aqua, and then chili is all one color. You can change those colors now if you wanted them to be different. I don't. I think one color will be good. And I haven't decided the color yet, but I want to make sure that it doesn't join with the S in case I do them different colors. All right, so this is good. 12 color steps. Oh, so see, it was going to do the S and the chili together. I'm glad I got that. All right, so I'm going to do a utility color sort. Make sure you have these same steps that I have to get the same results that I have. It's reduced it by 4. I'm going to click New View. It opens another tab, and then I'm going to open this up and just check. So there's our placement for our batting, our tack down for our batting, our placement for the main fabric, our tack down for the main fabric, and then the first quilting design, the second quilting design, the S, and then my chili word. So cute. All right, that worked out great. So I'm going to do a file, save, stitch file as. Now, keep in mind, if you aren't sure about your lettering, then you would want to do a working file, save working file as, so that you can come back to it. If you do a stitch file as, then you can't make changes to it. It's not going to tell you what font you used, anything like that. So whenever you do a design that includes a font, I always recommend doing a working file. You can do both, save as, stitch, and working file, and it'll create both in case you have any changes to make later. I know I want this, so I don't need to worry about it. I'm going to do it anyway, just because I'm telling you to. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to say 9x9 hoop, 9x9 fillers 3 and 5. Pillars 3-5. Save. So whatever, name it whatever you want, that you'll be able to find it easily. And then it did change the name, so I should be fine on sending this. My machine really likes it to have a name. That's fine. So utility Wi-Fi to brother. See, it's got the name. You can even change the name in here. That helps too. I've tried that before too, and that makes it work too. So I'm going to say okay, and it should send it. There we go. File sent to machine. So I'm ready to get stitching. I showed you really easily how to do that, and it was not easy initially. So soak that in, how to do it, and hopefully we'll remember for next time. So like I said, when you do your distribute, don't include the box from the quilting design. It makes it not work. Don't have the letters be together, then it doesn't work. You have to have each letter separate to be able to distribute them, and that totally makes sense. It didn't at the time. And then I did spacing once I wanted one, and get the first and the last letter in the place that you want them, and make sure that it's still in that place after you do it. Because there was one font that I did, and every time I did it, it would move it, the whole wording a little bit, and then you can still move it after that, but that was a concern too. So just check it, make sure that it's all correct how you wanted, in the look that you wanted. All right, let's get stitching. t-shirt today. This is a fun one. It's a sweater. It's a hoodie. I'm pretty sure it's in my Amazon storefront, but if not, I'll take a look. And if it's still available, I'll definitely add it in there. I made this one last winter, and it's like a color block where it's got like the plaid on the top and then some gray and then black, which if you have a brown dog, don't get a black sweater. My dog thinks it's a really good idea to rub her body up against my clothing and like rub her back, you know, if her back itches or anything. I'm like, oh, please, would you stop? Anyway, it's a cute sweater, and I did, of course, embellish it. I put the word blessed in an applique font. I thought this was really fun, and it's got some little detail stitching around it. I used this really pretty fabric. I've got it close by somewhere. And then I added the scripture as well. So it says Deuteronomy 28:8. All right, Deuteronomy is a whole lot of slaughtering animals and Moses and parting the waters and all of those fun things, but it does also say blessed, that the Israelites are blessed people. So that's what I did for this one. So like I said, it's a great sweater. I will add information here. I will add a link to my Amazon storefront so that you can find a sweater that you want to add on, and I will add the blessed design. I will add information on where I got the blessed design in the video notes. And like I said, if the sweater is still available, I made this last winter. If it's still available, I will add it to my Amazon storefront for you. And how are you doing with your goal? So last month, I was super stressed that I was not going to make my goal. I really didn't think I would make it. And the goal was 80 miles of hiking, running, walking, whatever. And I ended up with 88, a tiny bit over 88 miles. So I did it. I was really, really surprised and really excited to finish it. And now the November goal has already started. So my friends, my hiking friends, added me to this group challenge. And so now it's 75 miles for the month of November. And the really cool thing is, so yesterday, my friend Heather invited me out for a hike. We hiked Polecat, which is this really big mountain that you just go round and round and round on, and it's a pretty good one. So we finished that one with 6 miles and a little over 800 feet of climbing. So that was a great way to start November. That was on November 1st, so that was perfect. And then she invited me again today with her and our friend Therese, and the two of us were all three of us breast cancer survivors. So today we climbed Table Rock, which is actually my very favorite. It's got this humongous cross up at the top of the hill, and I love that one. It's a really good, it was a little chilly, but it was good. It was a really good hike. So we ended up going a different route than the usual route. So it ended up with 5 miles and 1,033 feet of climbing. So it was a really good workout. And like I said, it was a little chilly for my taste, but that's what happens when you live in Idaho. So I've already got like a little more than 11 miles toward my 75-mile goal, and it's day 2. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I've got to make sure to stay on top of it. And the other goal of less hand holding with people. So I've actually taken almost the entire weekend off. So I had a really busy weekend. We had church last night, and that hike with my friend, and then a hike today. And now tonight we're going to the concert. So I had a really busy weekend. So total, like, doing great with my goal, because I haven't done any hand holding. I haven't done any, I've done my filming, and I did work on my project. I did do work, but I haven't done a lot of checking in with how everyone else is doing and all the different messages and all that. I'll start on that tomorrow. So great. Like, it's possible to just take a step back. And so that's super nice. And I assume that the group is helping each other, because everybody's gotten so good at that. So what are you doing for your goal? I want to hear about your goal. Don't forget to give me updates. Hold yourself accountable. I'll help hold you accountable by asking you to tell me how you're doing. Put in the comments on YouTube, because it helps the channel too when you leave a comment on the channel, so on the video. So tell me how you're doing. I'm excited to hear your progress too with your goals.